From the moment I saw your smiling face, I knew in my heart you were my saving grace. You're the sunshine on my darkest days. With you, I'm lost in an endless maze. Every touch, every kiss sets me free. In your arms is where I long to be. Together we'll face whatever comes our way. Forever and always we'll seize the day.
Hey everybody, how you doing out there? And welcome to Turn the Page. If this is the first time you're seeing me, please hit that like, share, and subscribe, and stick around. We're going to be doing some readings, and possibly if you want a reading later on. But we got a storm brewing, and I mean that literally. As you guys know, we usually get our storms in the morning or late afternoon, and here we are, 3 o'clock Central Time, and we've got another storm coming in, and we'll see what happens here. I kind of feel like the internet is slowing down a little bit out there, and I'm going to talk a little bit to you guys about archetypes, a little bit about your imagination and how they are intertwined or deeply interconnected, and how we perceive things. It basically, our imagination, here's a formula: our imagination and the archetype will deeply connect and shape how we perceive and create and understand the world. Wow, okay, imagination. And we always remember when you're a little kid, you're very small, and you would say something to your parents, oh, that you have such a great imagination. Well, if you're one of those kids, I hope that you still have that imagination, because we're going to kind of break down the concept, significance, and how they relate to each other. We're going to be digging a little bit deep. If you guys know, when I start talking about Akashics or archetypes or what have you, I go a little bit deep. And please bear with me with the storm. I'm noticing that my internet has been a little bit flaky, or I need a new computer. So I'm going to use my imagination along with an alchemist to create a new computer into my world. How about you guys? What is it that you want to create? What is creative visualization, right? You say, Janine, tell me. Well, it's basically an idea, or sometimes you get little pictures, of the world, and you want to design. We're all little children, and I want to talk about our inner child, because that's really where this comes from. As an adult, we go into our imaginary world to create and manifest, and this is one of the things we need to get back to. You say, well, get out of your mind. No. Oh, no. We stay in our mind. So welcome. I think I do have people out on, if I'm live, out on Rumble. Yes, I see you guys out there in Rumble land. How are you doing? Okay. So one of the things that I do want to say, talk a little bit about, is with our the keys. And I always talk about the keys because they're very near and dear, and it's our value when we talk about the Akashics, right? There's a creative visualization. So you basically let your imagination construct, create. It's almost like you're fantasizing, you're gathering pictures, right? Or designing and doing, could possibly even be doing problem solving. When I was younger, I really was not good at math at all. And so I would go to sleep, and really, if I really had a hard time remembering, I think it was my times table. And I would go to sleep and really have this as a weighing problem on my mind, and imagining how can I unfold or pass a test. And sure enough, within my dreams, because I come from the dream world, and you could do this in your waking world. Waking world means what? You tell me. All right. So there's a real emotional connection between the two that I'm talking about. And a lot of times, we emphasize we say, well, picture this or imagine that. When I first met my husband, he would always use the word imagine. And I think he overused it. But, that's basically how he would perceive the world. Okay. Excuse me. It's all the allergies out there today. So we want to kind of talk a little bit about our experiences with that and our feeling and personal expression. So if you are struggling with being able to bring something into your life. Let's just kind of go back into your childhood. And when I do these Akashic readings for you, I will always get at what age that these issues arrive for you. Okay, so how does it actually work? So we basically, you want to imagine, you want to imagine your whole brain region, and specifically the frontal lobe cortex, right? It's the default of our network. Isn't that great? And it basically combines the memory, our sensory data, and we generate all of our new ideas right here. And let's see what else we have. There's different types if you want to. We can recall past experiences, productive, as I mentioned. I use my imagination, or my emotional connection with my imagination and problem solving. And you can do it creating something novel if you want. All right, so let's just say, for example, that you're remembering a beach vacation. And while you're inventing the sci-fi world, it is productive for you. Those are the type of things. There's a lot of people out there that run in their imagination. Is that good or bad? It's whatever you want it to be. We're not in this new world moving forward. Everybody talks about 5D. Well, let's just call it the 5D. Let's talk about where we are ascending to, right? We're all ascending into our spiritual self. We're going to still be in the world, but not of the world, right? And so the influences, it's from our personal experiences, our exposure of our stories. When I was younger, the way I spoke like I'm telling a story. So I would say, oh my God, you guys, I got to tell you this. My mother went to the store, and I would make it into this great big story and then flat on the end. But it was my imagination, my emotions, what I felt, right? My resilience to all that. And so, how did I get to that point of taking my culture, if you will, and making it a storytelling and an art, right? People who talk about artists out there, you don't have to be one that is painting, drawing, anything like that. You could bridge any of these archetypes. And if you haven't studied archetypes, please do take a little time to understand it, as our imagination will draw from the universe and the symbols and the patterns. That's the real world. That is my belief and my truth. You want to, we'll get into a little bit about what archetypes are, but I want to just say hello. I'm going to turn here for a little bit. I see a few people are out there. Hey, Charlene, 321, how are you doing? And let's see here before we get back into what I'm actually talking about. Don't forget that you can always say, pick me when we come to the part of the show where I could do a reading for you. And I kind of worked with coming up with something new, and we'll see how it goes. I never know how it's going to go. So, Alley Cat, how are you doing out there? And there's only a couple of you out there. Alley Cat says, I'm looking fabulous. Alley Cat, if you would like to join in, you could always join in. You know that. Just ask me for the link, and I'll send it over to you. I took a nap today, you guys. I really did. And I woke up maybe about an hour before the show was supposed to start, but I was dreaming. And I was solving things in my sleep. Did I go to sleep, or was I in my real world? And so they were showing me things with lights, and it was just really kind of cool. And the symbols that are in the dreams, that's what we have to write down. I woke up like, oh no, what time is it? When I take these naps, I go into these deep, deep, deep sleeps. And then I wake up and I go, oh my God, okay, what day is it today? Is it morning, noon, or night? And it's because I'm so in this other world, and I'm solving things, I'm creating, I'm trying to figure out, I'm asking, what is the meaning of life, if you will? What is the meaning of life in my world? Okay, so let's just take a little bit. Hey, Colleen is out there also. So when you see me look to the side, I have another computer over here. And let's see here. Colleen says, I need a nap. Wake up at 3 and couldn't get back to sleep. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that lately. And, it's just the way of the world, that we do what is actually happening out there. Okay, so let's get started here. Wait, one more thing. I want to let everybody know that I did drive to I'll just say to make it easier so people understand, it was Destin, Florida. And I did meet up with TCT, ME, I think is me. And I won't give her real name because she always goes by her handle. I want to see if she's out there. Just bear with me for 1 second. I'm not sure. She's probably, I don't know. It's been so rainy here, you guys. It has been, let me just try to find my keyboard here and see who's, anybody in the chat out there. I see it's Charville is out there listening while working. Okay, great. I see one person out there. I'm going to move this over. All right, and keep my eye on the Rumble. All right, so back to my story. Story time. So I did the drive. It was about an hour and 45 minutes. And when I left my house, it was raining. It's been raining here like crazy. I guess this is the norm down here. But in any case, so I'm driving there, and I'm like, okay. It was like rain, not raining, rain, not raining. It was on and off the whole time. So I get there, and I meet her. She lets me in, and it's a beautiful resort that she was at right on the beach, and the condo that she had was right there. You look out your window and you could just see everybody on the beach. You see the water was right there, and it was beautiful. So I wasn't prepared. I was just there for a visit. And in my mind, I was a short visit. I was going to meet her and then Destin Deplorable. Well, you know how things go, especially during Mercury retrograde, right? So she introduces me to her beautiful family and friends and family and beautiful children that was there. I got to be around in the energy of children, which has been a while, and I loved it. There was a small one at the age of 2, just beautiful energy. TCT has a beautiful granddaughter, very beautiful, very mature, very old soul, by the way. And I was introduced to her, and there were 2 peas in a pod. I could tell she truly, truly loves her grandmother. So anyways, we get out, we go onto the beach, and sure enough, it starts to rain. And I look up, and I'm like, oh, and I'm not feeling this very good because I know what it's like to live through here in the storms. And it starts coming down. They're telling everybody to get out of the water, right? And we kind of went under this umbrella. It was funny. It was cute and funny, right? All these kids and then a few adults underneath this tiny umbrella that the resort supplies there for you. And then I kind of peer my head out, and I look, and I see layers of dark clouds. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go. I don't stick around for this, but so that's what I did. Like I said, it was a short visit, and then all the way back home, it was white knuckling, if you will. So not as bad, but there were times where I thought, oh, this is Florida. Everything floods. You know, they don't have the drainage like big cities do with sewers and what have you. So I made it home safe and sound. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I felt so good once I got out. And I just wanted to share that little story with you, my little drive, and just tell everybody I'm so glad that I did take the little trip. It was good to get out, get some fresh air, and just be with life in general. All right. And then also, too, I want to give a shout out to AO, who did send me quite a few articles and they had a visit from Cash Patel. I never got around to doing that, but I will do it soon. As soon as my computer starts behaving right, because when I have to go into my email and construct these. So she is in the Netherlands, and I think he was out there, and she sent me a lot of local articles that came up. They were all out on Telegram, if I recall. So maybe if we have time today, we'll show those. But okay, let's get back. Are you guys familiar with archetypes, your imagination? Are you familiar with, where I'm just kind of going with seeing symbols? How many of you out there actually see symbols throughout the day, certain themes? And these themes are connection to what I used to call them coinkidings. There's no such thing as a coincidence, right? And but a lot of this is we could if you really delve into it, and this is where I'm going to go with it, is our conscious and our subconscious, right? And when we want to manifest these things, especially something that we want near and dear to our heart, I truly believe we are jumping into the future to put this out there, and then eventually we do catch up with it. And I think some people sometimes call it deja vu. There's all these different terms, but we have to really start embracing all of this. and see where we're going with this. Sorry about that. I'm seeing the lights flickering. So if we lose power, I'll pick this up in another a day and time. Just to let you guys know that. All right, who do we have out there? All right, so just wanted to talk a little bit about this. So if you are seeing these universal patterns, and these patterns are basically archetypes, if you see things in symbols and you are paying attention to them, you're giving yourself such a great gift in the dream world. And they're basically hardwired into our human psychology. There's a lot of books out there that actually talk about this. There are ancient, epics out there like Odyssey, and there's a lot of films out there like Star Wars. They all kind of talk about this symbolic representation, right, of these archetypes. The mother archetype might manifest as a nurturing figure or a productive, I don't know what you want to call it, institution like Mother Earth, those type of things. That's what I'm talking about, like the symbolic representation to a particular symbol. And that's new. Is it new language for us? Well, it should be an everyday language for a lot of us. And are we going to get there? Yes, we are. I've talked about archetypes. There's the hero, there's the shadow, there's the mentor, there's the trickster, there's the mother, there's the child, and then there's sub archetypes under that, right? So the child can have whatever. There could be a dozen of them out there. And let's see here. What else do we have? So there are a lot of theories out there. Jung's theory believes that archetypes emerge from our collective unconsciousness, influencing our dreams and our myths and our behaviors, right? They're not learned. Do you ever remember your mother picking you up and talking to you, sitting you down, talking to you like the birds and the bees, but they're talking to you in the language of other symbols, for example, fear of the darkness? Well, that might be one, right? How many of you were afraid of the dark? Where does that stem from? Is it from an ancestral survival instinct? You tell me. And so this is where we're kind of going to go with this. And I'm just going to give you a few more examples. And so these archetypes are used in, let's say, the other world. And, we talk about spiritual world, and then we have to talk about the business world. I guess that's the best way I could, it's in literature, it's in film, it's in psychology, it's in marketing and cultures, that type of thing. And archetypes are our building blocks. And I love archetypes, and I've read up so much, but there's so much more that I want to continue to read on it. And then we blend that in again with our imagination. And then what are we creating? We could create whatever we want out of it. It all depends on your cultural experience and your imagination, and it's just a collective unconsciousness that is meeting our own creativity, right? It's as simple as that. So here, a child might imagine a monster under the bed, an expression in the shadow archetype, or there are a lot of cultural storytelling. A lot of children books have come out of it. And let's see where else we're going to go with this here. Okay, so we could do a little bit of an exercise, and you could do it at another time. So you want to close your eyes, and you want to picture, just basically take a scene. Let's say a forest or a city. Some people that follow me, spaceships. So you want to close your eyes and imagine something out there, some scene. Okay, and you want to let it evolve without forcing it. Just let it be, right? We talk about let it be. And then you want to be able to look around and see what characters are in here. What are the symbols? What's emerging from all of this? Are they archetypes? Is there something that's sticking out more than anything else? And then you just basically go and you just write down. I'm always talking about writing or journaling because, it's just a beautiful thing to do. And you're basically exploring your limitations, and you're also looking at the patterns. You have to pay attention to specific patterns out there. So, you watch a movie or a book and you identify, oh, that's a hero in this book, or, that's the lover, or there's the shadow, right? And then you use your imagination, and you can create your own story, if you will. Okay, let's see. Lots of books out there, that you could actually read about The Hero with a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell. It's a wonderful book. If you don't know who Joseph Campbell is, please explore his writings. Obviously, Carl Jung is the first one. There's a lot of stuff for beginners out there. It's just taking your mind off of television and getting your mind involved in probably remembering at this point and stage in your life. Okay, so I just kind of want to talk a little bit about that. So just talking about why do people have like a fear of water, and it's actually called aquaphobia, if I recall right. And so let's see here. Aquaphobia is just something a lot of people have. They won't go into the water. They're extremely afraid of swimming pools. Sometimes they if they're around a lot of water, they struggle to breathe. This is really deep fear, and they're obsessing about the fear of the water, right? And so they basically, don't. I had a neighbor one time that would never go near a pool, go into any water, and then would tell me these stories. And then all of a sudden, one day, they are putting a swimming pool, above ground swimming pool in their backyard. I thought, she's overcoming that fear. She was at that point in her life. She was afraid of flying, and then she would go with the help of hypnosis, fly across to a couple states and then come back. These are things that you were trying to conquer to get over. But while you're going through this, you have to understand why you actually have these fears. And that's where it all comes in with the archetypes and where your mind and your imagination goes. And there is a role in with the imagination with all of this. And it's just basically, we get overwhelmed by certain things. And these mental images that I'm talking about are actually, a lot of them could be past life stuff. It could be exaggeration. Or are you actually fueling your anxiety through any of this, right? So those are the type of things that you want to take a look at. I do readings on this in my Akashic record readings. If anybody is interested in something like this, you can always contact me and via email, and just inquiring. Inquiring minds want to know. I don't I customize the reading for you based upon what it is that you may be going through. So now, where are we at in the show here? Let's see who's out on, I see Allison jumped over to Rumble, and let's see, who do we have out there? Colleen. I'm going to put this up here, and let me just put the whole camera right in front of me here again. All right. Whew, bright light, bright light. So, all right. My fear stems from past life traumas, from what I've heard, and it makes sense. Okay, so you've embraced that, Colleen. And let me also tell you guys that if anybody here doesn't want me to read their energy, please tell me. And afterwards, if you put a statement out there, what you want to share your fear out there. But Colleen, and I will always ask for permission from any of you out there, and that goes for the Rumble people out here too. I'm looking out there to see if there's anybody out on Rumble. So I'm going to do some reading. It's reading time, and I'll spend a few moments with you guys as long as you want to spend a few moments with me. So let's see where we go. Ronnie, thank you so much. Hey, Ronnie, how are you? Let's see here. Oh, much better. My ears are popping. So contact Janine for full reading at ttpreadings@gmail.com. And it's just for inquiring minds. I get a lot of people that want to know what I charge for a fee. And it depends on the reading that you want. And what I just do is I kind of tap into the energies. I start at $65 for the first 30 minutes. And if 30 minutes is a lot of time to get some particular fear covered, so I just wanted to share that with you. And also, too, let's see there. Let's see. I'm going to go back up here. Ellie Katz is former lifeguard here to rescue. Hey. Let's see here. Scott is out there. Hi, Scott. How you doing? So I'm going to go back and forth here. Yeah. Oh, okay. I did explain my trip. So It was beautiful to meet. What was really cool about it, TCT, it was that I've known her, or I should say, she approached me like she knew me. And do you guys know what that kind of does to the psyche? It's funny. So of course I've learned to just say, okay, I've seen her name out there. I pick up her energy, and sure enough, she's a beautiful person. So if any of you are anywhere along the Florida coastline, Alabama, coastal, please let me know. Also, too, I am going to be still coming back with a video. It's been raining like cats and dogs here lately. And I still am going to go and do the Bama hedge, the replica of Stonehenge with my husband. I'm hoping we can get around to it tomorrow, but if not, next week. So stay tuned on that one too. Don't know if it's going to be live. I don't know how we're going to actually play that out. Let's see what else we have out here. All right, let's see here. I'm going to, Colleen, is it okay if I pull a card? And I'm glad that Scott is doing okay. And so what I would do is, if she says yeah, because there is a bit of a delay here, I'm going to make sure I've got my archetypes, got my Akashics, and I'm actually being told to get the chakras along with it and just see which chakra that fear really needs some work with Colleen. If she says, oh, I get a thumbs up. I see the thumb. You see the thumb right there. All right, so let's just see where we're going with this. So she says she has a fear. She says, I feel like I don't know. Perhaps I've lived past lives together. All right, I want to go back to the fear. Here we go. All right, so, in next time, what I'm actually going to do, if somebody puts a fear up there, is take you through the actual healing aspect of it. You can do this from home. You don't have to be here. Or if you say, okay, I'd like to continue this, but let's do this one-on-one. I could do this stuff by the phone. I do it by email. I dictate the information in an email, clean up my emails because there's a lot of ums in there, and then I will send it off to you. I don't really do videos as much because of just the cost and how to get it to you. All right, let's see here. Unless you guys want to, feel free to donate to me. You can do whatever you would like. All right, so Colleen, where are we going to go? I see there is somebody out on Rumble. See, Charville says, I've always been afraid. Okay, of airplanes. Ooh, we got some good ones today. The water and the planes. All right, so as above is below. And today we're looking at, right now we're looking at Colleen. So let me just get her energy. I know this is going to be a good one because I can feel the energies really coming in with Colleen. So, and her fear is the past life trauma. From what you heard, it makes sense. But wait, there's another fear. It's not the actual fear. She's telling me what she thinks the trauma is. Here, did I miss it? Was it water? Crap. Oh, just bear with me, you guys. She needs a nap. Colleen, I should have started off. Okay. I'm going to have to make Ronnie an admin to my thing. She could do it all from where she's at and just help me, because what if Ronnie finds one, she could just flag the little star on and keep me on straight. I like to know. Not that one. I thought she had falling and choking. Is that it? Starring that one off there. Okay. All right. I think this is it. So let's just see where this is. Colleen's fear. I thought it was water. I really did. I don't know where I've seen that from, but okay. All right. Let's just this is what I'm going to use. If anything is different, please let me know. I don't want to screw this up for you. Falling and choking. That is her fear of falling and choking. So choking is her will. And the falling, let's see. All right, so the first thing that I'm actually getting here, Well, this is interesting because this one is in the shadow, and I'm gonna have to crack a window here. We've gotten darker. We've got something coming up here. So this is the shadow aspect of it, okay? And I actually see you almost kind of doubling over when the sphere comes up. All right. So it's you do, and I know this about her, but this is what they're actually showing me. She withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgment of others, refusing to help the need. What is that? Anybody out there play along at home? What archetype do you think that that is? It's kind of obvious when you withdraw yourself, but you have to know the names of the archetypes. And this particular archetype is a hermit. Okay. And so I'm going to actually delve into I'm trying to see what the falling one is, but let me pull another one for the falling. They said pull another one for the falling. And let's just see where we go. Hello, everybody. Be very kind to Ronnie. She's out there. She is the moderator today. Send her lots of love. Oh, and by the way, I do want to talk about the new me with Ronnie. Ronnie, if you could, see, this is why Ronnie needs access to my system here. I would tell her, put her link in the private chat, but Ronnie, put your link out there for the new me. I think you're still doing the new me stuff. So really what came up for the you said falling is almost, and it was on the positive side of things. Okay, so that particular archetype is more of a storyteller. Okay, and it says, and you have the ability to experience and express life through through stories and symbols. So you have that gift. So I'm trying to figure out what the whole falling aspect of is. Let me see where I'm going with this here. Why are they taking me down a particular path like this? And let's see what we've got. So, there's a lot of times where we are not paying attention to our own symbols, our own energy, anything that's coming in. And so if I could just make a recommendation for Colleen out there to really start journaling and taking notes, and you say, well, I do this, well, go back and reread them and do this for at least just try it for a week. And what are the patterns behind that? And the patterns are almost is it if falling off of something is not being on track. It's almost as if what I'm getting out of this, Colleen, and you let me know, is like you just never thought that. I don't want to say that you have ever been good enough, but it comes from a perspective of everything that you've kind of felt throughout your life at certain times. I'm not going to say it's your whole life. Is that the timing was never right? It's like, am I ever on the right track where I'm supposed to be? And that will create a particular psychological fear. And so what I'm getting is that the falling actually comes into play is from being a hermit and not being able to tell your stories or not be able to express yourself, because that is the archetype on that was very, very positive. And then let's just say, for example, if you're very spiritual and you couldn't talk in terms of spirituality, especially when you come from, whatever generation that you're in, and, and you came from parents, hard work and determination and putting a roof over your head, that type of thing. And so that's what I'm kind of getting, is that sometimes when we feel like we're falling off our purposes. We're falling away from who we truly are. So that's what I'm getting for Colleen. And I do want to just pull a particular chakra that comes up. All right, let's pick one. Okay, I got two of them that came out, and they are both the crown chakra. So I can get multiple chakra cards because they're going to affect different things. So the first one is, basically, if you know about the crown chakra, and the crown chakra is, I am conscious. So what does that mean to you? You might want to be writing this down. And then the other one is, we are one, and we're not separated. None of us are separated. We're just show different aspects of ourselves, right? And so that's where I'm going with this. And so her is what she should probably write down is, the difference in polarity are not a threat, but an alternative view of experience. You're a beautiful soul out there, Colleen. And that's what I have for you. Let me know how I did. Anybody else wants to play? play along with your archetype, your imagination. I wanted to tap into her imagination. Hold on, but there's more. Let's see. One more. What is this going to tell me? All I will say to you, Colleen, is you didn't bring that karmic, whatever you feel, into this lifetime. I do believe that a lot of this was brought or created in this particular lifetime. It didn't come from the past lifetime. And there is no karmic. You don't have, you're not, I don't feel as if that is presence with you, with your imagination. Okay. So you've got probably a beautiful, wild imagination. And I would say continue to work with it, work with it from perspective of taking notes and journaling, and then seeing your patterns and understanding your patterns. How'd I do, Colleen? There you go. Let's see. I got to make sure I put all these cards back in the right place. Anybody else out there, just let me know. And we'll just give this a whirl. And I'm giving you what your archetype is based upon your fear. All right, let's see. I think we were going to go to C. Charville out there. It was basically said, I've always had been afraid of airplanes. I always had dreams of them falling out of the sky at me. Whoa. Okay, let's see what we have here. All right, we're just going to shuffle these up really good. Let's see what she says out there. She's putting a lot of information out there. And this is coming from Colleen. Not meeting others' expectation and who I am. Wow, this just jumped. Wasn't what they wanted me to be. I separated from those people, which was, let me just pop this. Can I pop this out? Because I'm having a hard time reading it. My screen is jumping. 1 second. Here we go. Okay. I separated from those people, which brings me to a hermit, being a hermit. But I am never alone because I have my spirit family. Whoa, that's right. You are never alone. You're never alone. But those are those spirits that you brought up. And I'm glad that I was able to validate that in so many words. All right, let's go over to Rumble here. And just see what the C. Charville. And hers is, she's afraid that there's a plane is going to fall. She's afraid of airplanes and always had dreams of them falling out. So the first thing I get in my imagination, a picture, Native American lifetime with that. So let's see what we're doing here. All right. So the first thing that I actually want to do is, all right, I want to pull C. Charville, her archetype. I'm gonna pull the falling with the planes and see what the first one that I get. All right, this is so much fun. I'm glad you guys are playing along with me at home. All right, so the first thing that comes up is, it's a father archetype, okay? And let's see, so it's basically, and it's on the positive side of things. When I say positive, it's very strong. It's not, there's no shadow side to this. So you had a lot of positivity and a guiding light within your tribal unit. So that's where I got, within your tribal unit, I got something that goes all the way back to probably a Native American life. And I'm just going to put these down and I'm going to go into my Akashics and see where we are here. C. Charville, I'm trying to see if you have anything here. Okay, so what it actually came up on the shadow side is, what a conflict. The archetype is a father, but when you go into looking into the Akashics, the father is actually on the shadow side. Let me see what we've got going on here. I wanna say something is reference to having somebody up on a pedestal in this lifetime. You're very torn with this particular individual. Almost that where she's always afraid, it's that, okay, I'm looking out, I got to see, is what anything on fire, and waiting for the shoe to drop, You constantly, that fear is, she doesn't have any control when she sees a particular plane flying, which none of us do, but you could put the fear behind that particular symbol. So what is an airplane? Is just passing through something that's passing through, carrying people. And so when that triggers something within her psyche, to drum up this fear that she's always felt out of control. And I want to say it's with the male energy in this particular lifetime. That's as much as I will go into, but I'm going to pull the chakra for that one there. And I'm trying to see where we go with this one. Colleen has another statement out there. All right. So stability. See, Charvel, it's your stability. Obviously, it is your root chakra here. You have to allow yourself to receive the support. You can't get support. You really have to trust yourself, trust your pathway. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to, it's just like anybody else. When you are trying to figure out life and you cannot see a clear path, you're basically, your path is unknown. That's when her fear kicks in the most. It's not always there. So it comes as often as an airplane going overhead, right? So there's another change, right? There's another change in life, and that's where the fear is coming up. And it probably does stem back from a male energy. And that's what she has been working out, has created in her psyche. She recognizes the fear and maybe is afraid to make a change, but she puts it together in her mind as an airplane falling on her. So there you guys go. Let me know how I did. See, Charville, I don't have I don't have anybody out there on Rumble. I have my Ronnie out here. I call her my Ronnie. And let's see, anybody else out there? Ronnie, let's see. I don't see anybody else out here who has a fear out there. So the latest comment from Colleen is, my mom was one that never accepted me for who I am. She was very programmed. Oh, we love you. I love you, Colleen. And I have always accepted you. Actually, the first time I met your energy, I just always thought of how intelligent, and you come across very smart. So I think maybe you leaned into that analytical side to support yourself, right? And there you go. So it all pays off no matter what, right? So parents they come in and teach us a lesson, so on and so forth, and we know how that goes. But she had to use her imagination. Let me see if there's anything that I can see that my monitor's a little bit further away. It says, I've always been afraid of the airplanes. I see her saying that. Oh, she says, I am Creek Indian. My great grandmother was full of blooded Creek. This is coming from the reading that I just did with Charville. And so there you go. There you go. I see Andy 369 is out there from New Zealand. How are you doing, Andy? And Brent is out there. And all right, so this is good. We're getting a full house. Anybody else? I'll take. I'm just kind of taking my time and going through this. When I do these readings, if you wanted a really long reading and understanding this and how it played out in your life, and you don't want to play it out anymore, this is why I do this. So I'm helping you as you help me on so many levels, and I do appreciate all of you. Ronnie says, I don't have much fear, but I've been anxious as long as I can remember, even as a child. Will you pull a card for me? You better believe I will. All right, let's see what all this anxious is. Anxious is anxiety, right? So let's just see. All right, we're playing with Ronnie right now. We're going to see what is all this anxiety about. Well, we all have that. It's just, let's see what we've got there. Okay, Charlene has also got a wrench out there too. I forgot about that. Okay, let's see here. So this is Ronnie. I really want to focus. So Ronnie, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull one particular archetype that comes up for you on this particular one. And it's almost as if I want to say to you, you know of it. It's not something that's in the shadow side of things. It's just very prevalent with you, but also too, it is an addictive behavior. So here we go into the addictiveness. I hope I don't look too pasty for you guys out there. The sun is, I don't have a light, but I hope I look okay. My niece contacted me and said, Aunt Janine, you look washed out. I'm just like, I don't have the right lighting in this room. So I happen to look up and I just look very white. Okay, there. I want to make sure I'm not blending in with the camera here too much. All right, so let's see here. Going back to Ronnie. So Ronnie, it's not in the shadow side. Obviously, you recognize it, you know it, and you have been confronting your addictive behavior. So when it shows up like this, it means that you've been addressing it all along. And let's just see what we get here. I'm telling you, these energies are coming in really strong because, whoa, it's hot all of a sudden. Let's just see what we got here. All right. All right, so now this is her archetype that goes along with it. Ronnie, this is a beautiful card that I'm actually getting with you. It's almost as that I want to say to you at some point, you're not going to be telling people that you've got this fear, okay? And it's actually, you say, I don't have much fears, okay, but I've been anxious as long as I can remember. So that anxious thing is just an addiction, right? It's kind of like it's a pattern that you set up in your own mind with your own imagination, especially the fear of the unknown. Okay. But you are at this point right now where they're showing me you are going to be balancing the sun and the moon. And and I see you wearing purple with this. So that basically means that you're right now at this point in time addressing this particular, I don't know, maybe if you just work with your child, inner child a little bit more and just try to get that under wrap, because Ronnie, what I'm actually getting is it goes back to around the age of 5 or 6 years of age. Something triggered that, right? And let's see, let me just kind of go into the chakras and see that. So when you're 5 or 6 years of age, something had happened to trigger this anxiousness that kind of made you feel safe. And I'm not going to go into the whole ego thing because a lot of us can play into that. But no, this is a little girl who all of a sudden was confronted with something, and I'm actually seeing other children around her. Okay, and that was the trigger. It's not something like a mother or father said or did something. It's more of like her peers among her, where this anxiousness came out, and she recognized the energy of it, and it felt very safe to say, okay, I know that this is a particular pattern, and whenever something new comes along, I'm going to recognize that energy behind it. And what is actually showing up is within her heart chakra. And it's just like, okay, just love is so gentle for you, Ronnie. And your power and your presence resonates to these other kids that you were playing with. It's almost as if they didn't recognize your energy. And it was almost like they wanted to quiet you down because your energy was a little bit different. You exude so much passion and energy and playing or whatever it may have been, that maybe something that was said among these peers of these kids that triggered that. And then the next thing is you go through these pivotal times in life, right, that you'll see that will pop up, and all of a sudden it might grow. So what do? Is you kind of go in there and you just let it know that it doesn't have this power over you anymore. You just look at it with your imagination and this archetype is an addiction. It is the addict of you. It's saying, and so what I want to say to you, Ronnie, is just tell it, just push it away. That's where I'm going to go with this one with you. All right, Ronnie, let me know how I did. And let's see, was there a response from anybody out on Rumble? I don't see anything out there. I don't see anything out there. Oh, I do see Andy369 has one. I'm not really watching the chat, so I apologize if I missed anybody out on the YouTube world. But Rumble, she says, awesome. Thank you, Janine. Ronnie, just let me know, does that, the children, how does that resonate with you? Buckshot is saying Ronnie is amazing. Yeah, she's overcoming a lot of hurdles at this time in her life. And not only that too, but if you really recognize and put the symbolism and understand your your archetype. Ronnie, what would you think that archetype of the addict looks like? That's something I would love for you to journal about, right? And she said, I will push it away. You have to push it away because it serves no purpose for as powerful as you are. We want to see that awesomeness of you, that awesome sauce. All right, so let's see here. That's what I have. I want to make sure I put my cards back in the right place. And yeah, so just work within that chakra. If I did do one for you, I'm kind of losing track here. All right. Colleen says, when I get anxious, I say I do not consent to the negative energy. So there's a little bit of a tidbit from Colleen. Share among each other's out here, you guys. Let's see what we have. I see Buck jumped back over to Rumble. Hey, you guys are multitasking. Okay, so Andy369 says, good to see you. Janine, doing okay. Still trauma after being pulled out of the ocean. Lots of water stuff, you guys. Boat capsized with hubby and our girl. Hubby still is still in shock. I will. She wrote, hubby still shock up. All above ground, so thankful. All right, so she's from New Zealand. A little bit of interpretation that I have to do there. So let me see. Let's see. Well, this was an actual trauma. What is the fear? Is where I want to go. I can kind of see you may be afraid of water. She's basically telling me there was an accident that actually happened, but I'm not getting her archetype. I mean, I'll get the archetype, but I'm not seeing what the actual fear is. You guys don't always have to do fear out there. If there's something else that you want to do, you know, you like I said, this is all about our imagination, our archetypes, and symbolism, and how we live with day-to-day stuff. Like I said, it's your archetype and your imagination interpretation. It doesn't have to be on the negative side. It could be wonderful things that you see out there day to day. Okay, so I'm just going to pull some cards because Andy369 is giving me more information, but she said she's never been a strong swimmer. I get all that, but I'm not, you know, I'm just going to, I know what I have to do here for her. And I got the wrong deck in my hand. Okay, I see what they're showing me what the fear is. She's at this point in the stage where she hasn't quite identified most of it yet, but she knows that it's there. It's kind of like she's kind of, all right, I see where you're going with this, Andy. Hold on. All right, it's the lookout. Okay, so it goes back to what all of our fears are within the water. We constantly got to be looking out. Oh my God, you know, we have to make sure that there's so much fear when she actually enters in near a boat, obviously near water, but there's the fire energy that comes with that. It's almost as if that what I'm actually picking up on her is that as soon as she gets near a particular vessel, if she will, it's almost like a fire energy that it's stirring up within her. And she's going to look for everything that she can to be afraid of. And let me just pull out my, I wasn't even getting that off a card. I'm just getting that off of her energy. And so this goes hand in hand with this. So her archetype is in a shadow side of the seeker. So she's basically enabled to commit to anything moving forward. So it almost, I want to say, made her very, very stuck. Okay, so it's almost as like all of us have a story. Like I was saying, we could tell stories. All of us have a beautiful story about our lives. And this is a story that she's sharing with us. So if there's some particular reason, if I were to invite her out on my boat, I would get the story first to know the trauma instead of hearing her say no. Okay, and so this is her story. But what I want to say to you is you are not your story. Okay, and obviously this feels, the energy on it feels at a distance. So sometimes she'll bring it close and other times she won't. And I'm going to pull one for the chakra here. And so it's kind of like she will always constantly look for the falling shoe. She's on the lookout. Oh my God, what's going to happen here? She's not enjoying life very much. I'll tell you that right now. With at certain times, okay. And it didn't bring up anything around the energy of the daughter, but it's definitely her instincts kick into that before anything else. That is her instincts, which, if anybody knows where your instinct comes from, is your gut. It's her solar plexus. And what I would say to her is, you have to allow yourself to fully experience the physical world. It's almost as I want to bring her down out of that, because what happens is I'm almost sensing that if I were to say to her, Andy, let's go out on my boat. I have a little pontoon boat. Let's go. And right away, she is going to leave her body and she's going to go to that place. She's gonna she wants to connect to the deepest part where she can escape, right? And it's a very traumatic thing for her. It is very traumatic. So what you should say here, Andy, moving forward with this, is you release all the fears and you listen to the wisdom of your ancestors through the resonance of your own body. So basically, and we can all do this. We can all do this. So we just go back and we connect to other times with other family members in our life. We pull that energy to make us stronger. So if they were a pioneer, you pull that pioneering energy. If they were whatever it is, your own family history, and you pull that energy and you ground yourself in it, because you lost yourself. How did I do, Andy? Let me know. And let's see here. Anybody else have anything that they want to talk about? All right, let's see here. I think I got everybody out on there. I know there's a delay on Rumble, and it's I found out why the delay is. So if anybody doesn't know, Rumble has got a new app out there, and it's almost like you got the front door the way that I do it, and there's a back door. It's reversed. So right now I use StreamYard to go to all my platforms, and they're reversing it. They want to be able to say use Rumble and then go to all of your other platforms. I can't figure out how it works. I think you've got to set it up right about the time that you're going to go live, and that's just too much for me. So I'm doing it this way, and I think this way that is a big delay where everybody says Rumble kicked me off, Rumble sucks, and so that's what I'm kind of piecing together here. Hopefully Mercury retrograde will end real soon. I think it's like Monday or Tuesday next week. So give it another week, and hopefully a lot of the stuff will clear up. Woo! All right, everybody's is communicating with themselves. That's what I was looking at. Okay, I don't see anything else. So we're coming up on the hour. Unless somebody says pick me, I will do another one. Just let me know how I did, you guys. If you like these type of readings, I pop in here and I do it for you. And then I also will give you a little bit of homework. And that's up to you to decide to either can sit there and say, okay, that sounds really good, and then move on to the next podcast, if you will. But you got to hear a little bit about yourself, and if that's okay and you're happy with your life, that's a beautiful thing. Thank you. Ronnie is just put this up here for me, and it says contact Janine for a full reading at ttpreadings@gmail.com. And let's see. Hula hoop tells me her fear is not being able to hula hoop anymore. I don't think so, hula hoop. I think you're always going to be doing that. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Do I have anybody else out on there? Okay. All right, Mary, I want to know a little bit about your fear, your anxiety, or, if you're just wanting an archetype card. And I'm going to kind of read into what your imagination does with that. Now, while she's getting that, she's saying, pick me. I need a little bit more information. I want you guys all to really, truly understand when I'm reading your energy, it's nothing that's woo-woo out there. Any of us can do this. You just have to put the intentions behind it to do it. How am I getting this information, especially if I pick up something from you in the past, the present, or the future? Is because you've already put that energy out there right? It's almost the subconscious meets the conscious. And so I'm tapping into those energies in the ethers that you are providing for me, and I'm bringing it down, and I'm trying to translate it the best that I can. I might not always just nail it, but I'm close enough at times. But this is what we're doing, and you could do this also too. All right. So if anybody appreciates any of these type of readings that I do for you, there's a QR code over here up in the corner. And Ronnie's putting information. It's down in the banner also. We're still taking donations to help fight for kidney disease for my niece and the GoFundMe. That's a perfect place to just give a little, whatever you have, whatever you can. And if you cannot, say, money is of essence for me. I hang on tight to it because, that's what a lot of people do, and I don't blame them. I've never given to a politician, and I never will, because of now what I know with the USA. But if you can, just share that link out, and that is more than enough. Okay, let's see here. Thank you, Buck. Buck is working the Rumble chat. All right, so this is what Ronnie put out there. Donate to help support Dominique's battle with kidney disease. Use a GoFundMe. Blessings in advance for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm not seeing anybody else. Did I miss anybody, Buck, over on Rumble? And Ronnie, did I miss anybody in here? Oh, yeah, so Mary here, just an archetypal card. Either I have suppressed my fears or I have none. Come on, you're my student, and I'm not going to allow you to do that. That's the easy way out. How many of us don't know our fears? How many of us know our fears? And it doesn't have to be a fear. An archetype is so many things. It could be a hero. Like I said earlier, if you caught my channel in the beginning, you know what I'm asking for. So we're going to let Mary ponder on that a little bit. Sorry, Mary, I'm giving you homework at this point. All right, what else do we have out there? So I do have an update from C. Charville that I did a reading for with the father archetypes that came up. She says, Janine, thank you. I think it has to do with my dad and always wanted him to be happy about me. But he is not such a loving person. He's kind of just not loving. And there's a reason for that, obviously, right? Especially if we talk about generation after generation. And, I always talk about I'm a boomer, my generation, and they got all these other generations that are blaming the boomers. Oh, we can keep going on and on and on, right? We still blame our parents that are no longer here walking this planet on the other side of the veil. So, we all have a story. And this is what C. Charville is basically saying her story is and where she thinks it might stem from. All right, that's about all that I have, unless anybody else has anything else. Mary, if somebody has something that's coming from an archetype, if you don't know what archetype is, go out there and just do a search on archetypes. And then read them, okay? Because I'm going to be doing more of these. Then read them and see which one is calling you, which one you feel very strong about. And I'll let you know if it's in the shadow side, if it's something you're working with, or if it's something you've already positively worked with, like Ronnie. Ronnie's stuff is coming up positive. It's almost like she's taking the bull by the horns in the china shop. Let's see here. Okay, another update from Andy. I'm going to pull this one over here so I can read it right in front of me. And it says, great. Thanks, Janine. This is from Andy369. It says, trying to figure out, this is the one with the story of the boat. Hubby is saying no more boats. But my feeling of being stuck, during the headlights is what you got in the in parentheses. And it says, with the girl so dependent on us in a wheelchair and etc. Yes. So that's his choice, and that's how he's going to deal with it. Is just, okay, it was a bad experience. I'm not going to go into it. How many of us have been there? Okay, we had a boat. We were on a lake. I loved it. Safe. I felt very safe. We could take this little pontoon boat. I call it little compared to the boats that are down here. And we go out into the lagoons. We don't go out into the ocean. We're not that crazy. And I just don't feel it like I did. I felt more that we were in control in the lake than in these various places that we can go to. So yes, we all have to work through those things. So when it gets a little bit cooler here, believe it or not, is when we take our boat out. We take it out in the beginning and towards the end of the year down here. And I will make those adjustments with my energy. Why would I do that? Well, I'm going to assess my energies, how I feel about being in the water down here. And I'm going to see what the fear is. I'm going to confront it and just use my imagination and see what the archetype of that is. And you can do this also. So there you go. This is how we kind of deal with this stuff here. I'm just seeing what else is out there. All right, that's everything I've got for you guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. If there's anything else that you guys recommend, please put it in the chat, or if it's after the recording, and let me know. Take care, everyone. And let's see here. What else are we doing? What else is going on this week here? All right, so this is the 7th, and this is Thursday. Hopefully, I can, if not in the next week, we can get over to the Obama hedge and show that to you. I'd love to do it live. I'm not sure how well it's going to come across. And just show you the replica of Stonehenge in Alabama. And it's very close to me. Blessings, everyone. Take care. Goodbye for now.
From the moment I saw your smiling face, I knew in my heart you were my saving grace. You're the sunshine on my darkest days. With you, I'm lost in an endless maze. Every touch, every kiss sets me free. In your arms is where I long to be. Together we'll face whatever comes our way. Forever and always we'll seize the day.